Today is Friday, March 26th, 2021. The spine is straight and long. Your head balancing into the back of the body. Legs relaxed. Shoulders and arms soft. Feel now as your spine lifts up that your shoulder blades release downward and broaden slightly outward from the spine. Let the breath be slow and deep and wide. And as you exhale, relax your face. Let go of the skin of the eyelids, very soft. Relax the cheeks. Release the hinge of your jaw, feeling the right and left sides. Make your tongue passive and still. Let it rest upon the floor of the mouth. Take a slow breath in, and as you exhale, let your exhalation sweep your mind clear. Again, breathe in, and as you exhale, quieting the mind. Then take a nice long breath. As you exhale, draw your palms together now at the center of your chest. Check that you are not tightening the shoulders or the collarbones. Your throat is soft, your cheeks are soft, your eyes are soft. We're ready to chant Om. Inhale. Take a slow, full breath and exhale. Bow your head into your chest. Release the ego. Inhale slowly, raise your head back up. Exhale, bring your hands to your legs. Now slowly open your eyes. Good. Stretch your legs to Dandasana, please. Seated staff pose. Maintain a slight elevation under your buttocks, please. Sitting bones. Now, flex the backs of your heels, the Achilles tendons. Take the hands behind you and put your fingertips lightly on the floor, like creating little cups with your palms. Bend your elbows and roll the cuffs of the shoulders back. Take a nice long inhalation and an equally long exhalation. Just enjoy sitting with a straight spine and straight legs. Take a breath, stretch your inner feet firmly and mindfully forward. Extend the balls of your big toes and stretch your inner heels. Inhale, bend your knees slightly, just a little bit. Bring the chest forward more. Shoulders way back. Exhale, press the thighs to the floor. Waking up the legs. Inhale, bend your knees just a little. Lift your floating ribs. And exhale, press your thighs and knees down to the ground. Stretch the heels. Draw the toes back towards the kneecaps. Inhale, bend your knees again, just a little bit. Lift your chest, open the sternum bone forward. With an exhalation, press your knees down to the floor. Now make the right leg and left leg equally firm. Okay? Release the hands out to the sides now. Don't relinquish the leg action. Stretch your arms out to the sides. Roll your shoulders up and turn your palms backwards. So the shoulders are rotating forward. Now I don't want you to take your head forward, just the shoulders. Isolate the action. Inhale, roll the shoulders up and open the shoulders downward, palms facing up. Let your elbows be slightly bent. Again, roll up. With a breath, exhale, rotate them back so that the shoulders roll forward, palms backwards. Inhale up. Rotate, open chest, shoulders firmly down. One last time, shoulders up. Inhale, exhale as the shoulders roll forward firmly, and then up. Inhale. And open the chest, shoulders down. Bring your elbows into your side ribs, keeping your palms facing up and the chest really lifted. Stretch arms out to the sides. Lengthen the inner arms out to the little fingers. Bend the elbows down and in once again. Keep your palms open, meaning don't lift the hands up towards the shoulders. And then stretch the arms out. Keep the right leg strong. Keep the left leg firm. One last time, into the side chest. Chest is lifting up. Kathy, lift your chest more. And then stretch the arms out. Reaching. Press the thighs to the floor. Inhale up over your head. Take those arms and fly them up. Lift the chest way up. Extend the heels. Extend the balls of your toes. Press the knees down. Inhale, raise the head and look towards your fingertips. See that every point, every joint is as open as you can make it. Stretch your chest, your elbows, your wrists, your fingers. Lift and stretch the skin of your diaphragm up. And then look forward and release. Woo. Are we awake now? I hope so. Okay, we're going to do just a little bit of downward facing dog and just a wee little bit of a handstand, and then we'll lie down and do our restoratives. We may do one other active pose, but we're going to get to the quietness soon. Gilda, can you manage dog pose or perhaps box pose in some fashion? You let me know what you're able to do, and I'll accommodate as much as I can. So please, with a breath in, we exhale and lift the knees and lift the hips up and stretch our bodies nicely into downward facing dog. Take a few moments, please. Now raise the heels up as high as you can. Stretch onto the toes. Bend the knees as we just did a little moment ago. And stretch the hamstrings up high, then press the thighs back. Okay? Again, bend the knees, lift the heels up. Stretch onto the toes. Now, before you stretch back, I want you to lift your eyes towards your hands and look towards your hands with your knees bent and your sitting bones aiming upward. Now lift the tips of the fingers slightly up off the floor, the tips, just the very tips. So you're not lifting the whole finger up, you're just pushing the fingernails upwards. And then open your armpits and chest towards your floor, and then stretch back and let the head drop through the arms and reach back with your inner legs. Okay, bend your knees down and come to Mandukasana. If you can't manage to bend the knees quite that much, you're welcome to do it sitting in a chair, and you bend your torso out towards a second chair with a bolster underneath. Are you okay, Gilda, so far? All right. Please go ahead and put a bolster behind the backs of your knees, between your buttocks and your knees. And if you can, I would suggest, either a chair or a blanket out in front of you as well. I'm not there, but you know what to do to take good care of yourself, I think. So do let me know. Rest gently with your head down, either on your floor or on your arms. Quietly descend. Okay. Place the hands upon the floor next to your ears. Inhale and lift up. Gilda, you can stay there while we do this pose because this is not a good one for you at the moment. Please, we're going to go up into a half full arm balance. Take your belt on your elbows. If you're not inverting, simply do dog pose again, okay? If it's a little too much for you. Now I'd like you this time to turn your hands outward so they face directly away from each other with the belt at your elbows. And let's go up together. So when you're ready, come into dog pose, a shortened dog pose. Claudia, I think you can actually do this pose and it would be helpful to you, to your upper body to strengthen. So I know you're doing a wonderful thing there as well, but I would love for you to have a little more strengthening action into your upper back and shoulder area. And this is something I think you can manage. So get a belt and place it on your elbows. Marta, your belt might be just a fraction too high, maybe just a teeny bit. And Renata's, yeah, yours is a little too narrow, isn't it? You've got that already. Okay. Audrey, thank you for changing the camera. Can you lift it slightly up so I can see more of your torso when we get there? Just a teeny bit there. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, Pamela, you ready? Hands are pointing outward. Yes. Base of the hands is firm. Press out against the belt and evenly. We take a breath, lift the buttocks up, and then walk the feet halfway up the wall. And you're too far from the wall. You got to come closer in. Walk those legs halfway up. Keep pressing evenly between the right and left arms out against the belt. And open those shoulder blades, open the chest. Now lift the inner legs up firmly and stretch the heels into the wall, just like we did in dog pose and in Dandasana. Really engage the inner edges of the legs and feet. You're doing fine, Sarah, keep at it. And open your chest towards the wall. Breathe and lift on your inner legs. Abby, pull the diaphragm in more. Much more. That's it. Now open the chest, but not the floating ribs. Okay, good. Please release and come down. Thank you. Gilda, if you could please stretch your legs out to straight and bring the right leg up. Okay, bring the right leg up. In Supta Padangusthasana, you know, with a belt on your right foot. So you're stretching the back of your right leg. Okay, we're going to go up one more time, this time with the hands facing forward in their normal position. And we will lift one leg up at a time as well if you can. Thanks, Shannon. I appreciate the adjustment. Okay, spread your fingers open wide. Draw the thumbs toward the center. Press out with your inner arms and connect the outer arms to each other. Take another breath in. Raise the knees and hips up. Press the palms into the ground, inhale, and raise the legs up to that horizontal posture. Open the chest, open the shoulders and armpits. Lift your inner upper thighs way up. Abby again, diaphragm in, please. Take another breath. Please raise the right leg up. Stretch it up, look towards the wall and lift your outer left hip up away from the left shoulder. Good. Put the right foot back upon the wall. Take a breath. Inhale. Please raise the left leg up. Take care not to let the left leg drift behind the head. No, it's just right in line with your shoulder. And you open the armpits. Good. Bring the left foot back and release and come down. Gilda, just stay there a few more moments. Raise that right leg up or left leg, whichever it is. And just stretch it nicely, as open as you can. All right. Lying down twist, please. Jatara Parivartanasana. I'd like you now to have either a blanket or a bolster between your two legs and a little bit of height under the back of your head. Gilda, go ahead and did you do both legs? Yes? Okay, good. Then come and join us for this lying down twist, which you can certainly do. If you have any sandbags, those of you who have a sandbags, please place one sandbag on your right shoulder and the other one on the outer right thigh. So it's along the hip and thigh. Okay, shift your hips to the right, please. Hips to the right and legs to the left. Yes, and please put a blanket or bolster between your two thighs so that it keeps the right thigh in line with the right hip. Okay, I definitely want you to have some space this time because we're going to be in the pose for 5 minutes. And I want your hips to have that support while we twist. Okay, you're welcome to keep your knees bent or straight as you wish, but do make sure your legs are perpendicular to your hips and your right shoulder can release down to the floor. Okay, all right, we're starting now. Majority of you are there. So allow that right shoulder to fall open. You may also find it helpful to put your bolster crossways between your two thighs, meaning that it's supporting more of the thigh and the foot and the ankle. Yes, that's better. And then breathe and relax the whole chest to the right. Each breath, allow the right rib cage, your lung, your liver on that right side to release more gently and completely to the ground. So you're going to use your breath to really soften on the right side. Let your head be either facing up toward the ceiling or gently falling to the right, not turning to the left. Rotate the right shoulder down and the right palm up. Okay, so your right palm should be facing the sky. Push your left palm down into the floor, making the pose just a little bit active for a few seconds. Move the right shoulder more deeply down to the right, and then let go of all effort and allow your left hand to turn upwards, your palm up. Breathe. Just be still and observant. Sorry about that. Take a nice deep breath. Press your left thigh into the bolster or blanket. Inhale, move the sandbag off your outer thigh and hip. And then gently bring the legs up together. Good. Place your feet on the floor. Shift your buttocks to the left. Inhale, lift the feet and knees. Hand over to the right. We take another breath and release into the posture on that left side. Then put the sandbag over on the left shoulder if you can, please, and on the outer left hip and thigh, twisting to the left with the torso and to the right with the hips. And we begin. Now, once again, with a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, push your right palm down into the floor. Open the left chest and shoulder. See that your left palm is facing up. And turn more fully from the rib cage and even below the ribs in the region of the navel, even ultimately below there as well, affecting all of the internal, abdominal, reproductive, and eliminatory organs. And then release any pressure and just rest in the pose, quietly absorbing what it has to offer. Again, check the position of your head, that it is either vertical toward the ceiling or softly turning to the left. Quiet, even breath. The hips very gently release more deeply to the right. And now inhale, and keeping your thighs close to the block or the bolster or blanket, lift them up. Come back to the center and release your bolster from between the legs. Good. All right. Please roll to your side. All the way around, please. And now come to a supported downward facing dog. So what I'd like you to do is get your chair, okay? And remember, we're going to put a bolster or at least a couple of blankets over the top arm of the chair. It is important that you're near a wall so that your heels can be up the wall. Do you have two chairs, Sarah and Naomi, or no? Just one chair? Mark got both chairs. That's not fair. All right, in that case, that's fine. Sarah, what you're going to do instead is how many bolsters do you have? You have at least a couple of bolsters or just one or what? Two bolsters? Great. Okay, so Naomi can use one bolster, and Sarah, you're going to use the other bolster. And what you're going to do is put the bolster with a couple of blankets on top of it, stacked up, and you're going to rest forward over that so that the bolster is essentially right here under the pelvis and the tops of your thighs. You know what I mean? So I'll demonstrate if you want. I'll show you what we're doing, Jean, in just a moment. But I just wanted to show Sarah first of all. And if anybody else needs to do it this way, if you don't have a chair that can work for you, feel free to do it this way instead. So I've got my bolster and then at least a couple of blankets on top of the bolster. Okay, like so. You've done this before, most of you, I think. And then you lie forward over it. Okay, so it's just not as high as a dog pose, but lie forward over it such that it's really supporting that joint between, your thighs and your pelvis. And you just rest your head either on the floor or like so, but it's very releasing for the pelvis and groins. And you could even go a little higher if you have another blanket or two, an extra bolster or whatever. Okay, those of you who are using the chair, okay, so Gilda, you can do it that way. Okay, you can do it this way. Just put your, stack up a bolster and a couple of blankets, you see, like that. All right, and lie forward over it so that it's under the groin and the top of the thigh. Pamela, you want to make sure that you're close enough to the wall so that your heels can be up on a wall or possibly even on blocks. Audrey, you're going to want blocks for your feet at the wall. Okay, and then you turn the back of the chair to the wall. Back of the chair, put a bolster over the top of the chair. Crossways, whatever, yeah, perpendicular, yeah, but really, so the bolster has to be like the crossbar of the chair is in the middle of the bolster, You're balancing the bolster on the top arm of the chair. I'll show you. Okay, I will demonstrate. Okay, so I've got my chair. Okay, you have to imagine I have a wall behind me. I'm going to put my bolster right here. See that? Like that? And then I lift up and over the bolster because you need as much padding as possible. Otherwise, it creates problems for people on their hips and groins. Even so, sometimes people feel it and you have to put even more padding, believe it or not. And then you rest your head with your feet, up on the blocks or at least the heels on the wall so that there's more emphasis on the spine coming down over the chair rather than down into the legs. And I find personally that I really have to, it takes me a little bit to find the right spot so that it's not impacting my hip bones. I have to come quite far forward over the chair. But once I get it in the right spot, it does have a very pleasant effect on the base of the spine. It can really relax the groins and hips. And I slowly let go. All right, we're not going to be here too much longer. Take a few deep breaths. And release your spine. Yeah, Kim, you need a lot of padding there. Shannon, are you getting it? I hope, the effects. Releasing. You can let your heels go up the wall a little bit if need be to tilt more of the weight forward. Audrey, are you able to get some release into your spine and groins? Okay. And Pamela, I hope you are too, and Jean. Okay. All right. Good. Please gently come up out of the pose. I know that can be challenging to find, the right spot and sufficient padding. But once we do, it really does work quite nicely. Thank you. Sarah, was that pleasant? Is that good? I hope so. Okay, good. We're going to go to forward bend, Paschimottanasana, and please with your head supported once again. So legs straight, spine nice and long, okay? Please get either a chair or bolster or a combination of the two. Unless your hamstrings are really quite loose and you can easily, like all the way to your legs, I want you to elevate your buttocks slightly. So this is bend, Shannon, as opposed to Uttanasana. We're sitting on the floor, sitting bones a little bit. Legs, Claudia, legs to the center. That's good. Place the bolster or the chair or a combination out and bend forward and rest your forearms and forehead on what you're using. So I'm going to do this in a restful, passive fashion. Good. So first of all, take a breath, stretch your chest over. Yep. Gilda, I think it would be better if you had a chair with the bolster angled on the chair in front. I'll remind you. So the chair faces you. You're sitting on a little blanket, maybe two of them. And then you put your bolster right at an angle in front of you between your chair. You can take your underneath the bolster like so, under the chair, right? And then you bring the bolster up so that you can really rest your body on the bolster. It's like you're giving the bolster a little hug, okay? And just turn the head to one side or the other. And let the quietness of the pose seep into your whole being as you breathe and gently release your spine forward a little farther over the legs. Let your breath soften your lower back and the backs of your knees. So I don't want you to keep pulling into the pose, just rest in it. That's good. Abby, a bolster underneath your torso would really be very nice. Some contact between, the belly and the bolster just has a different effect, you'll see. Jean, relax your shoulder blades. Okay, please gently come up out of the pose very slowly. Now, keep your right leg where it is. Take your left hand on your inner left knee. Inhale. As you exhale, open the left knee out to the side. Okay, we're going to go to Janu Shirshasana. I want you to just keep everything where it is. Your other props are perfect, the chair, the bolster, etc. Just move your left knee out to the left. Okay, so you're bending left knee. Your right leg is straight, your left knee is bending. Place your left foot with the sole of the foot turning upward as much as you can. And we're still going to come forward over the right leg onto the bolster once again, onto the chair, etc. Okay, so the only thing you've changed is the left knee going out to the side. If you want to put a sandbag on your left thigh, if that's helpful to you, that's fine. But in that case, also put something to support the left knee unless it's resting on the floor. Okay, so Claudia, you're welcome to do that, but a blanket or block, or okay, good. I didn't see that. Thank you. Perfect. And really encourage the left thigh to release more than the bending forward. Okay, so if you have to choose between one action or the other, favor the knee of the left leg, releasing down as much as you can. And then extend your body once more. And Shannon, if you have a bolster around, can you place it under the torso? Yes, that nice bolster. Might as well make use of that. And you can always move yourself further away from the chair. If you can descend a little farther, just scooch back or, move there if there's room. So you do get to bend forward, but the point is to have contact on the front of your body. We have a tremendous amount of nerves located in the digestive tract of the body. Right? It is said that the second richest nerve center of the body outside of the brain is the digestive system. So we want to have that support under the front of the body. Claudia, I would very much encourage you to use your chair here. Put the chair, I know you have to reach it, but grab your chair. Place it facing towards you over your right leg. Now put the bolster at an angle. Yes, no, put the bolster, yes, like that, so that it's at the top of your right thigh and you can rest forward over it. Try that. See if you rest in that position. More breaths, release, and let the pose gradually get deeper. There's a slight twist in this posture as we take the left knee out to the side. We extend the left side of the torso a little bit over the right. And it's a wonderful pose for getting into the very lowest portion of the sacroiliac region. It's what makes it difficult, but also makes it very useful. Healing, potentially for the lower back. Okay, please slowly and gently come up. I'd like you now to straighten the left leg first. Place the left leg right next to the right leg as it was in Dandasana. Okay, pause for a moment. Sit back firmly on your blankets. Take your hands behind you and lift your spine. Make your back straight. Bring the shoulders down, lift your chest. Press your thighs to the floor, activate the legs. Good. Now take your right hand onto your inner right thigh. With a breath, inhale, we bend the right knee out to the side. Take the inner right thigh outward and encourage the right knee to go a little farther back behind the hip, leaving the left leg straight out in front of you. Okay, again, there is that slight twist to the left. So encourage the left hip to turn to the right, then take your bolster or whatever prop. We take a breath, lift and stretch, out and over, and release. Find the way in to a quieter, restful posture. It is generally not very helpful or effective to develop mental habits in which we come to conclusions about the nature of our bodies, whether those conclusions are negative or positive. So we may, for example, have the notion, my body is like X. We may have come to a decision, for example, I do forward bends well, or they come easily to me, or the opposite about any particular posture or action, because those ideas become fixed, and then we are not actually experiencing and exploring the pose just as it is. So when we come upon those ideas and thoughts, when we find ourselves thinking that or saying it, we may want to pause and reflect. Am I actually experiencing the full potential of the pose? Can I use the breath to release the back of my left knee a little bit more deeply? Can I use the breath to lengthen my chest forward a little bit farther so that the spine extends ever longer? Can I use the breath to relax my ears, my neck, my jaw, to completely let go of the ego and just go deeper into the pose? Soften on the right side of your lower back. And let the lumbar region on the right side relax away from the root of your right thigh. Breath by breath. Now take a breath in and gently release the pose, coming up. Good. And please straighten your right leg. Both legs returning to Dandasana. Sit up. Take your hands behind you. And again, gently lift your chest. Engage the legs a little bit more. Open the backs of your knees. Keep the chin level with the floor. Sitting vertically up. Soften the elbows, lower the shoulders. Good. One more, please. Bend your left leg into Virasana and place height under your right sitting bone and buttock. So you can have height under both buttocks, but elevate the right side more. Right? The left leg is in Virasana. And we're still going to use that chair or bolster combination for the forward bend. However, I want you this time to also have a block for the outside of your right hand. So the block should go on the floor outside of your right knee, a little bit farther away from the knee, so it's not right next to it. You'll use it. Okay, left leg is in lotus, sorry, not lotus, excuse me, in Virasana, hero pose. Okay, so Gilda, I would like you to actually sit in a chair facing towards your bed. Okay, so sit at the edge of your chair, face towards your bed, be about a foot or so away from the bed, and get your block as well. You're going to put your block under your right shin. Okay, are we all ready? Please take that breath, inhale, lift your spine, exhale, come forward over the right leg once more, resting the torso on whatever you need. So Kathy, again, if you have a bolster, place it under your torso. You're sitting on it. Ah, do you have a second bolster? No. That's good. Maybe a second blanket or something, just to have some support under you. Okay. Here we go. This is 3, no, I'm getting it wrong. Trianga Mukha Ekapada, Paschimottanasana. Okay, so Gilda, back to you. Yes. So what you're going to do, excuse me. Can you see my chair? Okay, so you're going to sit at the edge of your chair. You're going to bend your left knee into hero pose with your left toes on the floor. And this is where you take your block. I'll show you. And you place it under your left knee like that. See, so it supports the knee, but your leg is in the right position. It's in hero pose. Follow? Yep. You want to angle the block a little bit. Yep, there you go, like that. And you're sitting at the edge of your chair. Now you bend forward and rest your forearms on the bed, out in front of you. Should be able to reach the bed. No? Yeah, like that. And hopefully your right leg is straight and under the bed or whatever. If possible, your right leg is out in front of you. I can't quite see you, but you'll figure it out. Yes, like that. Let your toes relax. Let the top of your ankle release of your back leg. Now, those of you in the posture, take your right hand onto that block that you placed out near the outside of your right knee and press your hand into the block to move your left hip closer to the floor. Okay? Kathy, I think you need to move the block a little farther out to the right, not under the chair. Yeah, okay, there. Okay, so you really, you have to put the block wherever it's most effective on the outside of the right leg. So you can push your hand into the block and lower that right thigh bone down. It's pretty effective in my experience. Make sure that your two knees are not wide apart. They should be pretty parallel. There can be a little space between them, but not lots. Are you managing, Pamela? It's a challenging pose. Shelley, see if you can lift your chest a little bit farther so that there's a little less roundedness in your spine, more extension on the front of the spine, please. I think you would be, lengthen outward first before coming down quite so rapidly. Jean, are you able to push your hand and move your left hip down more? Can you feel that? Yes, good. Okay, I just can't tell from here. So gently extend your spine over the right leg and push with your right hand. Move the root of the left thigh down. Nearly done. A few more breaths. Go deeper into the pose. Open the back of the right knee. Release the root of your left thigh. Relax it as much as you can. Let it go. Okay, please release and come up. Excellent. Straighten the left leg. Both legs straight for a moment. Shift your extra height so it will go under the left buttock, of course. We take a deep breath. Then bend the right knee to Virasana, placing the foot alongside the hip. The idea is to have the two sitting bones parallel upon what you're sitting on, which is why we're raising that left buttock up a little bit higher than the right. Okay, let's begin, please. Take a breath, stretch up and out. Yes, Audrey, really create that length and think as you extend forward, move from your hips, not from your rib cage, but really from the hips. See, right about there is about where your spine starts to round. So I would love for you to be up that high for now. Maybe take a blanket on top of that. Something soft under your head would be nice. Can you use a bolster? Put the blanket there. That's it, like that. And bring your arms. All right. I would prefer, Audrey, if you could rest your arms up on the block. Yes, like that. Okay, that's better. Really think of length rather than descent. Okay, good. You all right, Marina? Is your left leg straight? Oh yes, your left leg is straight. I just couldn't tell. It's okay. You're good. Yes, I'm not there, so I can't be helpful in the way that I would like, but do make sure that you have enough height under your left buttock so that it helps your right buttock and thigh and outer hip to release down. Okay, so a little more height under the left side than you have under the right side. Good. Okay. Again, breathe and slowly release. Now, once again, place the left hand on the block, which hopefully is somewhere out there on the left side. And use that hand. Gilda, are you okay? Can you bend forward with the right leg in that same position? To the bed? Okay, good. Yeah. Kathy, try again to move the block a little farther out, away from the thigh and knee. Even farther, a little bit more. Try. All the way out there, and then push from there into the top of your left thigh, right in the root. Feel how you can draw the thigh bone down, down, down. Okay, then re-extend both arms out over your chair or bolster. Again, just a few more breaths. Go deeper into the posture. Quiet the brain. Use your breath. Soften the knees. Soften the pelvis and the hips. Okay, take another breath and inhale, come up out of the pose. And straighten your right leg. Excellent. Good. Okay, we're going to go into a supported plow pose if possible. Now, ideally, you have your legs nice and supported on a bench, as many of you have experienced here at the yoga center, but you don't have a halasana bench most likely, so you're going to use a chair. Now, if you have a yoga chair and it has a rung at the front, it's actually better for you to use a different kind of chair, like the kind that you have at your kitchen table that doesn't have, hopefully, rungs underneath it. So you can let your head go through and underneath. If you don't have that as a possibility, then you just do your best and use your yoga chair anyway, which is fine. Okay, some of you have yoga chairs that don't have a rung at the front, which is ideal, right? But if you have one of those other chairs, or yes, if you have a piano bench, that's really awesome. So if you have a piano bench around. Okay, so we're going to lie down into, shoulder stand, right? And you're going to lift your legs up and over and rest your thighs over your chair, which has a bolster or blanket on top of it. I'm going to demonstrate so that you know what I'm talking about. I'll use my yoga chair so you can see with the yoga chair, okay? So I'm going to take my blankets in their normal shoulder stand position. Gilda, I'll be with you in just a moment. So 2 or 3 or 4, however many blankets you normally use in your shoulder stand is what you want here. Okay. And do stagger the blankets just slightly. Okay, just a little bit of an angle there. Then take your chair so that it's facing the folded edges of your blankets. You see that? Okay, with a little bit of distance there, you're going to take your bolster and place it on the seat of the chair, like that. Got that? Okay, you're going to lie down just in the regular fashion with your head right off the edge of the blankets. You're going to bring your knees up, find the bolster, scooch your knees up onto the bolster. Now, ideally, bring the chair as close to you as you can. If you have that rung in the way, of course, you can't bring it as far as one would like. But if you don't have the rung, then you can bring it even closer. If you have the rung, you can put the bolster right there so it's at least on the tops of your thighs. You pull your shoulders back onto the blankets, excuse me, and you let your legs rest, and you let your arms rest, and hopefully your knees are on the chair. Take your legs up and over so your knees are resting on the chair, and we're going to rest here for a few minutes. Okay, I'm going to watch you all now. Supported Halasana. Any questions, feel free. So Shelley, you're using that bed or couch? Is that it? Okay. Have you done this before with this furniture? Okay, I'll watch. You may want to also put a bolster. I think it's going to be too low. So I would recommend you put a bolster on top of it. Okay. Anne, do you have a chair that doesn't have a rung? Because I can't see the side of you. Yes? Okay, great. Perfect. Then in that case, pull the chair all the way up as close to your blankets as you can get it so that it can really be up underneath the roots of your thighs as much as possible. Well done, Marina. You're welcome to bend your knees. Nice, Jean. Keep pulling that bench all the way up, Jean, so it's as close to your hips as you can get it. That's it, like that. And now, Jean, that's perfect. What you want to do is use your thumbs. Put your thumbs under the tops of your thighs. Lift your thighs up and over the bench. Really lift up and over so you catch as much of your thigh bone as you can. Yep. It should feel like a little suspension. Do you feel what I mean? Okay, yes. And then rest your arms on either side of your head. Bend your elbows. Yeah, maybe on the outside of the bench, I would suggest, not on the inside. There you go. And make sure your shoulders are firmly back on the blankets. You may have to scoot your shoulders back slightly. Nice, Audrey. That looks lovely. Just pull the bolster a little bit deeper up into your hips, as far as you can, and scoot your thighs up and over. Yep, like that. Okay, Pamela. Good, good. Nice, Gilda. That looks lovely. Kathy, it's best to not have the feet on the wall. All right, so if your feet are on the wall, please bend your knees and rest the tops of your feet on the wall rather than the heels. Abby, that looks delicious. I hope it feels wonderful too. And let's see, yes, lovely. Good, good. Now relax your temples. Shannon, that looks lovely too. Good. Relax your hips, your thighs. Oh, good, Kim. Just the right object. Relax your ears. Really let the pose nourish the back of the brain. This pose is often given for insomnia, and also for reactivity. Okay, so if you find yourself at some point, being really irritable, just highly reactive, agitated, try doing this pose for 5 minutes. Marta, let me know. I think you just need more height. Yeah? Yeah. It's very important to have the right position. Pamela? Yeah, it's not ideal there because you don't have your thighs and knees supported. You have your shins supported, that's better than nothing. But really you want your thighs supported. So can we try the chair instead with a bolster? You just can't get close enough.
The chair either has a solid back or
Yes,
a bar.
if it has a solid back, that's fine. Just turn it sideways. Let me see.
But then I have a rung to deal with.
Can I see the chair, please? I need to see the bottom of the chair. I see. I see. Okay. In that case, okay, nevertheless, no, wait. Bring it back. We're going to use that chair. Move your blankets a little further away from the bed. We're going to come down in a moment, but I want Pamela to get this. Move the blankets a little further back. Okay, good. Now put the chair facing towards the blankets with the empty side towards the blankets. That's it, like that. Bring it all the way up to the blankets, as close as it can get. Okay. Now the blankets might be a little too high. Take one less blanket, please, and place it on the chair instead. Okay. Now you're going to carefully lie down with your head through the chair. Okay, the rest of you, please hold on to your chair or your bench and roll your spine down. You have to move it a little bit and try to roll the spine down gently, as softly and slowly as you can. Once you're down, you move the chair a little bit and then scoot your buttocks up on your blankets. Well done, Audrey, and everyone. And lie down with your shoulders just off the edge of the blankets. Okay, so Pamela, what you're going to do is bend your knees and rest your feet. Yeah, you could do it that way too. Actually, that works just fine. That looks like it's pretty good. Yeah, I love it. Actually, didn't even think of that option, but that's good. Good. So now you can really shift your hips, all the way up, right? Like that. Yeah. Perfect. So just make sure your shoulders stay firmly back on your blanket. Sometimes you have to scooch them back. So your neck is really soft. And then rest there a little bit. Let your arms rest on either side of on the floor. Gilda, I do see you. You lost you for a moment. We're just resting out of shoulder stand and plow.
I just zoomed out. I don't know.
I know. It happens from time to time. Who knows why?
What are we doing now?
We're just resting on the floor out of shoulder stand for a few moments, and then we're going to do our last pose in a moment. So go ahead and do a seated twist. I'd like you to do, the twist where your right leg is bent and your left leg is straight, and you're twisting to the right. Just a very gentle twist, okay?
Okay.
Good. And Pamela, just stay there a wee bit longer so you really start to feel the benefit. Okay, the rest of you, please bring your feet to Baddha Konasana now, with your buttocks elevated and your feet on the floor. Mandy, are you all right? Oh, of course, the feline had to have some attention. I know. I completely understand. I had the same feeling with Sid this morning. I picked him up and I said, "You have so many uses." Twist to the right, please, Gilda. Okay, you're turning to the left first. That's fine. Not a problem. All right, please come round and up. I'd like to do just a few moments now of Baddha Konasana, bending forward, okay? Again, over your chair or bolster before we rest completely into Shavasana. So if you have sandbags, please place them on your thighs. Elevate your buttocks enough, and then come forward again onto your chair, your bolster, whatever you were using previously. You may need to use something higher or lower in Baddha Konasana. Okay. Good. Shelly, is this okay on your hip? Just barely? Yeah, a little tiny bit. Okay. Does it hurt, Shelley, when you bend forward? Yes? Okay. What about when you're bending backwards? Does it hurt then as well? You know what I mean? If you're leaning back? I was actually going to have you lean onto the chair, but yeah, put the chair back behind you and just have your legs and body. Yeah, and just bring your chest up onto the chair. You know what I mean? You're going to have to, yeah, there you go. Lift your chest even a little bit more up so that you're catching your, yeah. And then stretch your arms up and over your head and hold on to the arm of the chair. You can reach it, I think. Yeah, turn your hands the other way. Good. Take your arms all the way to the top of the chair. There you go. Turn your elbows inward. Ah. Now that should take the pressure off your hip, I hope. At least somewhat. Yes? Okay. Do it that way. You'll get more benefit out of it that way, I think. Well done, Kathy. Keep breathing and releasing those thighs. Let them go, let them go. Ideally, you would have about 3 more sandbags on each thigh. But this is good. Where's Gilda? Gilda, can you sit in this pose? Soles of the feet together, knees apart. And bending forward, please. Okay, excellent. Please come up. And we're now going to do a nice supported Shavasana. What I'd like is for everyone to have height under the backs of your knees so that your feet are really either elevated off the floor or barely touching the floor. Okay, so if you're using a bolster, you can rotate the bolster, like this, right? And you may find that if you put that under your knees, that your knees are actually, your feet are just barely on the floor or actually elevated. If that's not quite sufficient for you, just put another blanket or whatnot. Now, under your spine, okay, I want you to do a little bit of a pranayama setup, okay? What I mean by that is that you're going to take hopefully, you have 3 blankets. You're going to take each blanket and fold it in half lengthwise. Okay, 1, 2, 3, all the same. Going to place the blankets lengthwise on your mat. First one and the second one is staggered back about 2 inches from the first blanket, approximately. The third blanket goes crossways at the top to create that little T shape. Okay. You sit on the floor. Be certain that you are not sitting on the blanket. Sit on the floor in front of the blanket, making sure the blanket is right up against your sacrum. Support your knees. By the way, if you have an eye pillow that you'd like to use or a wrap, I know they take a little time to do, but they are very effective. Okay, your knees are really elevated. You lie down, lengthen your sacrum. Then lift your chest up and over that second blanket so that it supports right at the diaphragm. You may need to adjust that blanket, but lift your rib cage up and over the second blanket. And lastly, place the blanket that's under your head, lengthen the back of your neck, and make sure that final blanket is supporting your neck and your head. So it's right up to your shoulders. Then you can place either a scarf or eye pillow over your eyes and open the arms to 45 degrees. Rotate your shoulders down. Take your shoulder blades very gently toward the chest. And we're ready for a nice, wonderful Shavasana. And we're going to do a little bit of pranayama. So the sooner you get there, the sooner we can start. We have about 7 minutes more. So Robin, I will definitely let you know when it's exactly noon. Okay? So you can really go deeper into the pose. Gotta go, Kim? Okay, sorry. Namaste. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you for coming. Okay, the arms are now open. The lower spine is long. Please check and make certain your tailbone and sacrum are extended. As I said, the shoulder blades move very gently into the chest. Your palms face up. Make certain that your palms are open and your heels are not pushing into the floor. Extend the backs of your Achilles. Make sure the legs are soft and free of tension. You should have a nice height under the backs of the legs. The back of the neck is long, your chin and your eyes descending in the direction of your chest. Relax your tongue. Relax your lips. Release the sides of the nose. Let the breath be very soft, very easy. Now, beginning Ujjayi breath. After your next exhalation, draw the navel down and contract slightly between the navel and the diaphragm. And then start the breath at the bottom of your rib cage, breathing into the floating ribs, breathing into the middle chest, breathing into the top of the chest, pausing for just a second, maintaining the contraction, and then exhale from the top of the chest to the middle, down to the bottom, and then release the contraction. Now take a normal, completely uncontrolled breath. And then we're ready to do the next. Again, gently pull down and up underneath the diaphragm, and then breathe into the lungs. So we're essentially creating a stop on the lower portion of the torso and gradually on the upper and containing the breath. Breathe. When you reach your full point, brief fist of pauses and then exhale from the top, down through the middle of the lungs into the bottom and release. If you are easily, without strain, able to put 2 or 3 of those breaths together, please do try. Drawing in, breathe, open the lungs. Slowly and steadily, the exhalation should be as long as the inhalation. Make the two match. Try for just a couple more cycles where you can, without causing any hardening of the jaw, the tongue, the eyes, all those highly sensitive organs of perception. And once you've done at least a couple more, then please breathe naturally and rest. Robin, it is exactly noon now. We're going to stay for one more minute, letting the whole pose release. Okay, please take a few longer, gentle breaths. Slowly and gradually bring yourself round to your side. Then sit up straight. Keep your thumbs soft. And bring your hands together. Namaste. Thank you ever so much.